If the note is long-term instead of 6 months, maybe 2 years, so the procedures are very similar. So we use the non-interest-bearing note as example. So we are given the notes receivable will be $700,000 in 2 years. In other words, the seller will receive $700,000 by the end of 2025. While this sales happens at the beginning of 2024. That's 2 years span. And since it is a non-interest bearing note, we recognize notes receivable, $700,000. That's the future value of this cash flow. And then we calculate the present value of this $700,000. Okay, which is 2 periods, annual interest rate 12%, which you will see this is a quite deep discount, right? So the discount on notes receivable is $141,964. And by the end of this year, the company should recognize 1 year interest revenue. And the amount is carrying amount of notes multiply 12%. What's the carrying amount? Carrying amount of notes receivable, NR, is the notes receivable minus discount. Okay, which is 558.36. It multiplies the interest rate, so that's also the amortization of discount on notes receivable. Interest revenue recognized in 2024 was the product of this number. When we amortize the discount on notes receivable, the balance of a discount on notes receivable will reduce. In other words, the carrying amount of notes receivable will increase. Okay, when we amortize the discount on notes receivable, it will reduce. The notes receivable subtract a number that is reduced, then the difference will increase. By the end of 2025, the carrying amount of notes will be 700,000, subtract original discount 141,964, and since it was amortized once in last year, so this is the carrying amount of these notes. Basically, it equals 558, the difference of these two. So the negative sign, positive sign, so plus 66,964. The second year interest revenue is determined by the sum of these, $75,000. When the note is due, the company receives payment $700,000 and amortize again $75,000, which is determined by this. We recognize interest revenue, and also we write off notes receivable $700,000. So this notes spans for 2 years. We amortize twice. The two amortization actually is sum of these two. It equals to the original discount. Since it is a non-interest bearing note, the sales revenue is actually the notes receivable subtract the discount. Or it is the present value of the notes receivable. Just like this, the sales revenue $558.36 was the present value of $700,000. And the assumption n equals 2, interest rate 12%. In this example, it is present value of this notes receivable and assumption 10% for years.